Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I will continue the presentation from my friend Ristika Damayanti. Okay, here I will present the result of analysis based on BSNP. Okay, in BSNP there are four parts. The first part is content appropriateness. Like you see at this presentation. Okay, there are content appropriateness and also presentation appropriateness, and the third language appropriateness and draft appropriateness. Okay, we will discuss one by one. Okay, the first is content appropriateness. Content appropriateness divided into several subcontent. The first is the compliance with material description competency standard or SK and basic competence or KD. To analyze the compliance of these criteria to the textbook, we use syllabus in use the syllabus from the teacher. Okay, the syllabus consists of 8 basic competence and standard competence. The first basic competence is identify social function, text structure, and language feature of written and spoken text instructional, greeting, leave-taking, gratitude, apologize, and the response based on the context. And this basic competence is available according to the textbook. It can be proven by seeing in page 4 until 8 that contain of greeting material, which they have to practice the expression of greeting and leave-taking. And also in page 11 until 12, the material is saying goodbye and saying thank you and sorry and also role play at page 14 and 17. And for basic competence 3.2, identify the social function, text structure, and language feature of written and spoken text. The content of giving and asking information relates to the self-identity, short and simple, based on the context. Pay attention to the language feature and vocabularies about family, pronoun, subjective or objective, and possessive. Okay, this basic competence is also available with the textbooks. It can be seen at the page 22 until 24. The textbook provides the identity of someone. Then students take the information from the identity. Students apply the same action with taking the information from the real life and present the result. On page 25 until 26, the textbook provides activities about asking and giving information relates to their identity. And also at page 34 until 35, the textbook provides the activity of telling family member and also be drilled with other their friend. Okay, this is the basic competence of the first criteria of content appropriateness. And the second basic competence is identify the social function, text structure, and etc. You can see the basic competence there. The basic competence also available. It can be seen at the page 38 until 47 that provide activities about learning time. And also page 38 until 45 that is started by repeating teacher word to say the time. And this material reflecting this material reflects basic competence in a syllabus. And for the basic competence 3.4, identify the social function, text structure, and language feature of written and spoken text instructional that contain of giving and asking information relates to the name and amount of animals, things, and buildings around the students' real life based on the context. Pay attention to the correctly language feature of article a and the, plural and singular. This basic competence is available. It can be seen at the page 60 until 97. The textbook provides activities about knowing the name of the thing in certain places, date, amount, and an article of a and the. It also provides plural and singular thing, how to say it correctly, and mention the location of the place. And next, Basic Competence 3.5 Language Features of Written and Spoken Text. Instructional that content of giving and asking information relates to the character of person, animals, things based on the context. It is available with the textbook because the textbook also provides character of thing, room, conversation, play role, and make a list of things character at the page 111 until 118. The textbook provides the character of animal, its appearance, and on the page 120 until 124, the textbook provides the character of person. And for the basic competence 3.6, identify the social function, and you can read it at the syllabus. It also available with the textbook because the textbook on page 128 until 133 provide material about asking and answering someone's profession by using simple present tense. And also at page 134 until 140 provide the daily activities of person by using simple present tense. Okay, we continue to the overall the compliance of basic competence and the textbook is available with the textbook material provided. Okay, next we come to the second part of content appropriateness. It is the accuracy of the materials. There are several points in this part. The first point is the accuracy of the concept and definition. This point divided into several indicators. The first indicator is the material in textbook should be presented accurately to avoid misconception to students. This indicator is fulfilled by seeing the chapter 1. The activity in chapter 1 shows politeness aspect in the conversation. It encourages various conversation toward various relations so that students able to differentiate the way they speak to the older person and also younger person. And the second indicator is concept and definition should be formulated with the appropriate well defined to support the achievement of SK and KD. This indicator also fulfilled by seeing each chapters in this textbook. For each chapters in this textbook, they have the material that supports the achievement of SK and KD because the availability between KD and material have been measured before. And the second point is the accuracy of the principle, which divided into several indicators. The first indicator is the principle is one aspect that is used to construct a theory. It is fulfilled by seeing at page 1128 chapter 6 shows the principle of asking information in conversation to construct theory of interrogative sentence and also in chapter 1 on page 10, chapter 2 on page 23, chapter 3 on page 50, chapter 4 on page 62, chapter 5 page 105, chapter 7 on page 166, and chapter 8 on page 179. And the third indicator is the principle presented in textbook must be formulated accurately so as not to cause multi-interpretation for students. It can be this indicator is fulfilled by saying each activities of this textbook which construct theories. I mean, many theories, they use instruction sentence clearly so that students do not have multi-interpretation about the principle. And we come to the third point of the accuracy of the material. It is the accuracy of the procedure. The accuracy of the procedure also divided into several indicators. The first indicator is procedures are the steps that must be taken to achieve a particular goal. It is fulfilled by seeing each chapter has its goals to be achieved. It can be seen from the syllabus. Then the textbook provides procedure to achieve the goals. It can be seen from the ordinal number provided in the instruction sentence for every chapter. And the second indicator is the procedure should be formulated to accurately so that students make errors systematically. It is fulfilled by seeing chapter 1 page 4 that shows the procedure accurately because it is begin from listen carefully and then repeating and then playing. Chapter 2 page 20 until 22 until 23, chapter 3 and from 38 until 39, chapter 4 page 60, chapter 3 page 100, chapter 6 page 128, chapter 7 page 150, and chapter 8 page. And we come to the fourth point of accuracy of the material. The fourth point is the accuracy of the example, facts, and illustration. There is only one indicator of this point. It is concept, principle, procedures, or formula should be clarified by example, facts, and illustration are presented accurately. In this way, students not only understand the knowledge. Okay, the indicator is fulfilled by seeing each chapter that actually cover the three criteria. They are example, facts, and illustration, except at the chapter 8, which less of example. And the last point of accuracy of material is the accuracy of the problem that also have only one indicator. It is student mastery of the concepts, principles, procedure, or logarithm to be built by the problems presented accurately. Okay, this indicator is not fulfilled because the problem assists students to comprehend the concept, principle, and procedure at the chapter 1 shows at page 13 because the task instructs students to respond with a proper statement to say goodbye. It gives students opportunity to differentiate. Okay. Overall, the number of fulfillment, the accuracy of the material to the textbook is fulfilled 7 point. From the 8 indicators, the textbook is fulfilled 7 indicators. Okay, next we come to the part of learning supporting material as one of the sub-content of content appropriateness. The point one, the compliance with the technological development. The indicator is not fulfilled that it's not fulfilled because each chapter do not provide material that encourage technological development. And the second point is the accuracy of the feature, example, and references. The accuracy feature, example, and references, the indicator that the feature should reflect the current event or condition. This indicator is not fulfilled because the references, there are no the newest references used in the textbook. And the next is reasoning point. It is fulfilled because on page 26 in chapter 2, the textbook provides the instruction sentence of asking someone identity. It kind of task that encourage students to make inferences or result that authentic or valid because they work based on the real findings so that their comprehension will not fail. And the material may also include question open or question that require students to provide answer or solving strategies vary. This indicator is fulfilled because on chapter 4 on page 91 provide an illustration task to be analyzed by student about its proper situation there. And for the problem solving point, this point there are one indicator the textbook need to load a variety of strategies and problem solving exercises. It is fulfilled because the criteria can be seen from the instruction discussed. Word complicated sense. It means that students are asked to solve the problem through discussing. And for the second indicator is not fulfilled because there are no problem or designing model, solving the model, check the result, and etc. in this textbook. And the next point is the communicative. The material in the textbook should contain example and exercise to communicate. This indicator is fulfilled because the criteria can be seen from the instruction sentence. Instruction sentence such as we will present, not read it to each other orally on page 24. And the next is application. And the next point is application. The application point also fulfill the application point also fulfilled by the textbook by seeing chapter 1 page 10. The textbook provide the tasks that ask students to greet people in their real life. And also, on the next point is the attractiveness of the material. The attractiveness of the material is fulfilled by seeing on page 163 that contain of student that content of encouraging students to learn more about descriptive text because the example are about Indonesian country. And the next point is to encourage for seeking the further information. This point is not fulfilled because the criteria are found in every chapters. And for enrichment, the enrichment is fulfilled because on chapter 2 on page 36, students are asked to fill the blank table. Chapter 3 on page 58 is kind of game. And those all the result analysis of supporting material that fulfill 10 indicators from among 13 indicators. The next is technical of the presentation. Technical of the presentation have several points. The first point is systematic of the presentation. Systematic of the presentation can be fulfilled by the textbook by seeing the picture on chapter 3 page 53 that provide the motivational material in the illustration form. And also the predecessor of at least contain material prerequisites required by students to understand the topic that will be presented. This is fulfilled because look at on chapter 1 page 2 until 3 is a predecessor in some form. And the next is the regularity of the presentation. The regularity of the presentation can be seen at chapter 3 page 41 that shows a simple grammar rule in presentation. And the next point is the balance of the interchapter. The balance of interchapter can be seen by the number of pages are appropriate with the material in needed to achieve a basic competence. The next is learning presentation. Learning presentation, there are several points. Learning presentation is one of the sub-point of presentation appropriateness. The first point is student center. This point is fulfilled because it chapters in the textbook contain of interactive and participatory material to motivate students to learn independently. For example, by using questions, interesting pictures, sentences, and solicitation. And the second point is to develop process skills. This point is fulfilled by seeing the criteria from the instruction. The instruction asks students to make a proper statement of saying goodbye. And the next point is, and all the point of presentation appropriateness, technical presentation, among 7 indicators, the textbook is fulfilled 6 of them. And the next is the completeness of the presentation. The completeness of the presentation for introductory part, the textbook fulfilled the 4 indicators that can be seen at page 3, at page Romawi 3 to 5, and for the content part, the indicators can be seen at page 166. And the last is ending part. The ending part, there are several indicators that is not fulfilled in the textbook. One of them is the glossary. The glossary is not provided in the textbook, so that the completeness of the presentation only fulfill 8 indicators. And the next is language appropriateness. Language appropriateness, there are several points also. The first point is fulfilled. It can be seen on chapter 1, page 4. The complete with the level of student intellectual development. Because on chapter 1, page 4, it is about the instruction activity in the box. The instruction is listened carefully or repeat. It indicates simple words that student easy to understand. And for the second point is the chronological and precision flow too. The chronological and integration of each chapter is fulfilled because from chapter 4 and 5, which have connection material, both of them use the environment around a student to explain the material. in chapter 4 can be seen at page 7. The next criteria of BSNP is grade appropriateness. Grade appropriateness has several subcontent. It is book size. The book size point is conformity with ISO standard book size. This textbook is fulfilled the indicator of book size because the textbook has the size of textbook is B5 170 and the difference is only 6 mm. For this reason, the textbook is confirmed. And for the cover design, the point is book layout. The point of book layout are fulfilled because the appearance of this textbook are blue skin as the main color of the face and back. Then it is combined with a little green color so that the cover will not dark. And the second indicator is the appearance of content center point well. It is presented in different form from others. For instance, the size of title is bigger, brighter color, and bold. And overall, the total percentage of uh, cover design is are fulfilled 9 indicators from 12 indicators. And the last is book content design. The book content design are fulfilled all the indicators of content design in grade appropriateness. Okay, here we will analyze the speaking tasks based on HOTS and LOTS. The first is HOTS analysis result because our textbook is dominant with tasks, not exercises. We take the tasks, not exercises. And here we got 8 analyzing on HOTS and then 5 for evaluating and 4 for grading. And for LOTS analysis, we found many tasks that relate or identified as LOTS included into LOTS. There are in chapter 1 there are 1 page that plays on remembering, and in chapter 2 there are 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, there are 7 plays. Overall, the LOTS analysis is resulted for remembering there are 72 and for understand there are 25 and for applying there are 25 also. Okay, the last is conclusion. From the previous analysis based on the SNP, for the aspect of evaluation of content, the sub-aspect of evaluation are get 100% fulfillment. It means that the content appropriateness for the point of the appropriateness of material with standard of competent and basic competent is 100% appropriate with the textbook. And the second indicator is the material accuracy get 87.5%. And for the supporting learning material get 76.92% in the textbook. And for the presentation appropriateness, the technical presentation got 77 and 78%. For learning presentation, 85 and 71%. For the completeness of presentation got 66-67%. And for language appropriateness got 83-33%. And for the grade appropriateness for the size of book 100% appropriate. And for the cover design 75%. And for the book design 100% appropriate. And from all fulfillment appropriateness, the criteria or the average overall amount 71 and 95% appropriateness based on the SNP. And the textbook is categorized as appropriate textbook to be used. And for HOTS and LOTS, HOTS in the textbook there is get 11 and 85%, while LOTS gets 88 and 15%. For evaluation checklist, the excellent number of criteria is the excellent criteria get the highest point of the textbook, that 34 criteria fulfill for excellent. Based on those results, the textbook is appropriate to be used based on the analysis of evaluation checklist. Thank you.